this is going to be a disappointing year for the Lakers, regardless of what the future holds. How much blame does LeBron James get for what happened and what went wrong with the Lakers this year?
I'll say 25%.
That's all.
Yeah, because I feel like this team underachieved as basketball performers on the court. Like, a lot of people talk about the job Luke Walton has or hasn't done. I think he's done a terrific job of nurturing young players into productive NBA performers. Lonzo Ball, Ingram, and Kuzma all shown me improvement. Hart showed me he could play. Zubac was playing quality minutes for them, and they let him go. But how about this? Two guys that got away. Julius Randle's in our conversation for most improved player. D'Angelo Russell was an all-star this year. Yeah. So these are young, talented players that still either they drafted or still with the team that didn't necessarily take that next leap.
So who's to blame? Ryen Russillo.
I'm really sympathetic towards the front offices because I know how hard this is. This is really hard. So when the Paul George
was it that
thing
hard
blew
to draft Lonzo Ball in front of where they drafted him? I mean,
so we're going to do this now. Lonzo Ball stinks because he's been hurt.
It doesn't stink because he's been hurt, but Jason Tatum. I mean, what I'm saying is D'Angelo Russell. He has an incident there.
I don't have any issue with them moving on from Russell. The player Russell is this year is not the player he's been his whole career. He used to be a Kobe-level usage-type player that took a million bad shots. So D'Angelo, credit to him for improving his approach. But that's not who he was in L.A.
He's 22 years old, Ryan. He's 22 years old.
He also used the ball as much as Kobe for somebody who was good as Chucky Atkins. All right? I mean, that's a reality how D'Angelo Russell approached the game.
Either you can look at that and say,
no offense to Chucky Atkins,
this guy can turn into a great player, and we can be the conduit to that, or we could just give up on him now.
Well, Jalen will back me up. I mean, look, both of you, you're from there. You've been out there forever. Let's be honest. Some young dudes don't do great in L.A., and there were issues with some of the players that they've moved on from where they just go, we're not sure you guys are great fits.
All right, so I sidetracked you. I'm sorry. Go back to it. So you're not blaming the front office.
Well, look, they're partially to blame for this. They put a bunch of young guys with one-year vets. They moved on from Brooklyn. Like, what was the rush to get Beasley and Lance Stevenson and Rondo, who would kind of shut it down on some teams? And it's a weird group to put together. But when they didn't get Anthony Davis, I'm not going to sit here and trash the front office because they had to go the nuclear option. Rich Paul and Clutch had to. You can't ask nicely for a trade request to one team with a year and a half left on the deal. So I get what happened and why it's not working, but I'm not going to trash the front office either.
Okay, I will. I'll trash the front office because I think they've completely mismanaged this thing. I mean, you go back to the Paul George situation. That is the front office. They were arrogant. They misplayed their hand, plain and simple.
So you're saying they should have traded for him? Or
they should have traded for him when they had an opportunity to get him. They could have easily got him for what Oklahoma City gave up for him. They did not. Now they want to take those same parts, and now they want to try to move those same parts and make New Orleans essentially what the Lakers were last year, as you've pointed out on this program before. You're not going to get Anthony Davis with that. So their mismanagement have put them in the situation where, yes, you have one-year deals. You have a random collection of veterans that don't necessarily fit, especially with the skill set of the most important player you have on your roster.
And here's an exercise that I like to do that people overinflate what happens to players when they play in Los Angeles or New York. When you look at the bottom of the Western Conference, look at the Clippers roster, the Spurs roster, and the Kings roster. In a vacuum, people will say the Lakers are better than them, but they're not.
We've just heard of their guys because they play for the Lakers.
Correct. We're just more familiar with their players. The teams that are beating them out for playoff spots are teams that are actually better than them. That's my point.
We're going to do this or that. I have prepared a series of intriguing little moments that will get you guys.
You're all over this.
Here we go. Yeah. This or that. I'll start with you on the first one, Jalen.
Okay.
Who wins another championship first, LeBron James or Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie Irving. LeBron James, I've been saying this all season. LeBron James has a better chance of winning an Emmy than he does of winning a championship with the Lakers.
Maria, you agree or disagree?
I agree with you. And it's because you're in the West more than anything. Yeah, Kyrie is going to win a championship.
Russillo.
Man, this is because all I'm thinking about is Kyrie and KD, but the top of the East is tough. You know what? I'm just going to say LeBron. I'm going to say LeBron because at least I know him as the leader of a team can still win a championship.
Farnham?
I don't know that with Kyrie.
I don't think either one of them will win another championship.
Wow.
You think neither LeBron James nor Kyrie Irving will ever win another championship?
Yes.
I'll accept it.
But that's not the game.
He accepts it.
I'll accept it. I will accept that as an answer.
Yeah, but it took it to another level.
This or that or another option.
You're going to tell me this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
We're changing the name of the segment on the fly to NBA this, that, or